中のものは唐突に変わる時がある。男も女も、大人も子供も。お父さんだって2回変わった人がいる。生きていた人も、ある日お墓や写真に変わる。目に見える形がいつの間にか消えてなくなっていく。心の中の形も変わっていく。
Have you ever watched something that is popular that made you wonder why? Or have you ever watched something that was not and made you wonder why more people have not talked about it? I've found that is the case with one of the most well-known current Japanese filmmakers, Hideaki Anno. Anno is most famous for his 1995 anime Neon Genesis Evangelion, which I originally disliked until various challenges in my life led me to a rewatch, and it became my favorite TV series of all time. And now that I understood the show's popularity, I went on to watch his other works. Immediately after the end of Evangelion, Anno directed his first live-action film, Love and Pop, from 1998, which is unfortunately forgotten and often looked past entirely. It was at this moment I came to a realization. Films made by artists are more effective in truly capturing an audience than those made by a boardroom or studio. Hideaki Anno's film Love and Pop is a prime example of what art can result from a filmmaker creatively conveying these themes and emotions rather than relying on excitement and popularity to make money. Anno creates an experience like no other with two key components, the first being the way he presents his messages and his characters. The movie follows Hiromi and her friend group in high school during the time of the economic boom in Japan during the 1980s. The plot is centered on compensated dating and all the exploitation and entrapment that can come from it. If you're unaware of what this is, then give yourself a pat on the back. But for context, compensated dating is essentially when older men exchange money or gifts, depending on the arrangement, to young women who are more often than not minors. The short version is that Hiromi wants something she cannot afford and is introduced to this concept by her friend. So after going on group dates and thinking through it, she mistakenly thinks, what's the harm in a couple dates? Anno tells this story through the lens of very personal and real feeling characters. Actually, they feel almost too real to refer to them as characters and not just people, which is why this movie creates sort of a fake documentary style. The way he humanizes and dehumanizes the people who hire Hiromi and her friends is truly fascinating. See, adults have the wisdom of age but are still the ones paying for these situations. Some adults just want to rant, some just miss cooking for other people, and some always plan to exploit them from the beginning. Nevertheless, they're all shown as people, some not entirely bad and some with egregious intentions. And no matter what type of person they are, we're still put in an uneasy space, because at the end of the day, they're still the ones paying teenage girls to spend time with them. The person who is mentally unstable and almost violated Hiromi is also the person who says the underlying message of the movie. Hiromi, who lacks self-worth, has value as a person. But of course, a message without visuals or audio to complement it ends up being nothing more than an idea. The second component to how unique and underappreciated Love and Pop is would be the emotion in Anno's camera. Following the filming of the end of Evangelion's live action segment, the director immediately developed a fascination with recording on a camera. That spirit and ingenuity with no thought of the rules he had to follow and how to capture the footage is what made this movie so incredible. He wasn't held back by any set of standards. The majority of the shots are all from a handheld camera. Anno uses different camera mounts, like on a moving train, and many POV shots, from people to objects like the inside of a microwave. He distorts the picture like using a fisheye lens, switching aspect ratios, stretching the height and width of the picture, and using a dirty lens to evoke what feelings he wants out of the audience. The angles and movements create a virtual reality-like environment that makes it visually distinct from any other film out there. This experience begins to feel more like a fake documentary than a movie. Anno's emotional health and drive towards the camera ties in directly with Hiromi's character. She's one of many youths, unsure of her place in the world. She is growing to discover the meaning of existence and trying to move forward with it. But of course, as she discovers more, she cannot help but feel the repetitiveness of everyday life, and her mind is forever occupied with an almost nihilist worldview. However, she's not saddened or depressed by this. Rather, these are all just thoughts to her. She does not think about herself because to her she's not interesting. In an attempt to find meaning where there is none, she's become obsessed with photography. She takes pictures to hopefully capture something special about anything because the moment itself is the same meaningless experience every day. Love and Pop as a film is a shining example of what happens when the person behind the camera cares deeply about making an artistic experience apart from the everyday consumer movies that popular culture has highlighted. Hideaki Anno may be known for being the man behind Evangelion, but his other works are of equal or greater quality as well, especially when it comes to his live-action films. The environment he is able to create is completely separate from anything else you could watch, earning his spot amongst the greatest directors in the industry. The next time you watch something, whether it be a movie, TV episode, or YouTube video, pay attention to how its themes, messages, and visuals are composed, and what are the intentions of the people behind its production. In the case of Love and Pop, it's about humanizing people. It's about dehumanizing people. It's about making awareness of an issue that many still don't see as an issue. It's about finding yourself in the world. It's about letting you know that even if you don't feel like it right now, you are valued.